And we are live. York Dukes baseball getting underway. Hansman getting the start for the home opener and the season opener for the Dukes. Dukes coming in 0-0, looking to pick up their first win of the year against Maine South. They're 1-1, coming off freshly a 5-4 loss versus the OPRF Huskies, where you saw this, which will be the majority of the regular season. Huge blow for the Dukes as the ace, only a sophomore, already hitting about 92 miles an hour on there on the bump, out for what seems to be the majority of the regular season.
And you hope he could come back in a speedy fashion, but not only is that 6 to 8 weeks back to healthy, that's not necessarily to peak performance. So we'll see what he'll be able to do for the end of the regular season performance-wise in the playoffs once the Dukes get there.
Absolutely not the kind of blow the Dukes were looking to take. You see him in the dugout with crutches pregame. And now that's 3 straight walks for Max Hansman. This Maine South bench, dugout, whatever you want to call it, certainly starting to let him hear it. And honestly, rightfully so. He has been unable to locate the zone with any form of accuracy today. And Maine South is out there not even swinging, because why not if this York Dukes ace, quote-unquote, can't even hit the zone?
Yeah, that's not a great way to start the year or the game. It could just be off-season rust, as even though Maine South has played 2 games, this is the first game for the Dukes this year. First home game, obviously, but hoping to try and get a triple play here is the wish.
That's a tough ask at any level, as it brings Charlie Shaw to the plate, the 4-hitter for Maine South. He plays second. Hansman, give him the call there. Looked like it might have been a little outside from our vantage point, but regardless, definitely something Hansman needs to start heating up here. You know, contact isn't the worst thing, but you're wanting to keep us on the ground here, Josh. You can't let him get this ball to the outfield, let Maine South take an early lead. If you're the Dukes, if you're Max Hansman, trying to strike him out, or even more so, get a ground ball in play in around the 5 to 6 range.
Definitely an opportunity, but you're hoping, even if it does get out there, that one of the outfielders has the cannon to reach him at home, but unlikely at this level.
That one's just high and outside for Hansman.
Ref keeping a tight zone here. Not necessarily close pitches, but there's been a few that he's favored towards balls.
Shaw stepping back into the box now. Hansman from the stretch. That one's right down the pipe. Big pitch from Max Hansman as he's trying to work his way out of this disaster of a first inning.
1-2 count here. Or 2-2.
Contact from Shaw goes backwards off the net. Fresh ball given to Hansman. Still 2-2 count as that one just tipped off.
Whoa. Knee buckling curve there. That was nasty.
Absolutely. From up here, it looked like it was going to get close to hitting Shaw. Then all of a sudden, it goes around, slurves its way into the zone, and that was definitely, and I mean definitely, the best pitch we've seen from Hansman today. That's an ace-type pitch, and that's a way that you help yourself out in an inning like this, because all of a sudden, contact on the ground to shortstop, and you have a real chance of getting out of this inning, giving up 0 runs.
That was wonderful.
That brings first baseman Noah Collins to the plate.
Giving these people. First lefty of the game. Going no gloves. And the goods bat from, don't remember the name of the company. But
Marini on the bat.
Very popular bat among the youth.
Smith keeps the at bat alive. And that's a
Curveball.
walk. Hansman actually let that at bat get away from him. Curve couldn't find the zone, and early on now, 4 walks for Max Hansman. He just walked in a run, and now it's an entire infield meeting, doing anything they can at this point to calm down the ace. Max Hansman having a rough start to this one, Josh.
Yes, he is. As
Challenging Hansman to find the zone. They have not shown much intention of swinging the bat here in the first, and why not?
definitely when the opposing pitcher can't find the zone, why leave the bat? Why take the bat off your shoulder? And good stop there from Rasmus, but you're going to need some help from him framing some pitches like he did on that first pitch of the at bat. That was a good frame by him. Thought it was a little outside, but the frame job gets it.
Absolutely, Josh.
Gets the
and I
trick.
think framework is one of the most underrated aspects of baseball. When you have a catcher who can make nearly anything appear as a strike, I mean, that's a talent that just does not get talked about enough in the baseball realm. And Rasmus, as you mentioned, he's a very good catcher at doing so, and he's had on display so far today for the Dukes.
Definitely has tried his best to help out Max, but those pitches have been a little too far outside. Especially, and then if you're a fielder, you're just hoping a ball gets hit to you to warm up a little bit. As right there to the shortstop.
First in-play hit. Joey Ward gets it up the 5-6 gap. Good coverage there, though. What could have been much worse, Colin Doherty able to limit it to 1 run. Good contact there from Joey Ward. Hits it through the thick grass, through the sand, through the infield, and drives in a run. Huge hit there from Ward, but good job from Doherty to stop the bleeding a little bit. Stop the damage, if you will.
Definitely, and they don't want to test him as he was one of the platooned quarterbacks for this Dukes team this year as they switched between him and junior Matt Vezza, so he clearly has an arm if he's able to play quarterback and right field, so they don't really want to test him. There goes Cancel for the foul ball.
He's tracking it down, but that one just missed. Cancel was inches from having a near highlight play here, anything needed to bail out Max Hansman, get him off the mound, give him a breather, but no, Cancel unable to reel it in. But it will be a strike 1, 0-1 count here for Ben Labutka.
Ooh, good pitch there, but not low enough, it looks like. I thought that was pretty well down the middle.
And that pitch is really nasty. If he's able to dial that in, Josh, that thing is going to be tough for Maine South to deal with in this outing. I mean, we've seen that pitch all season long. Hansman's been a staple of this Dukes team as it looks like the Dukes have an opportunity to turn 2, and they will. Great catch from Cancel, and that will get them out of the inning. But as I was mentioning, that pitch has been so good. Hansman's been so good throughout his entire Dukes career. Not the normal first inning from him there as Maine South up early 2-0. Dukes now up to bat. AJ Swiatek, Joshua Melvin on the call. Thank you for tuning in to York Dukes Baseball, the home opener, the season opener for the Dukes. We'll be right back after this period intermission.
We are back.
Dukes trailing early here to the Hawks, 2-0. Mark Schneider trying to get a rally going for the Dukes, trying to get something started here. It's a beautiful day for some Dukes baseball, a beautiful day now for the bottom of the first inning, and a great chance, great opportunity here for Schneider to lead this Dukes team, get a couple runs on the board, and start leading this comeback that really didn't seem like it would be necessary, but already is after the top of the first.
Definitely, but the deficit is not too bad as that double play ball really helped him out. Good turn by Schneider on that one as he was able to flip it to the shortstop in time.
Absolutely great turn from him and a really nice that ball got away from catcher Ben Labutka. I mean, you just knew Schneider was going to take second.
Definitely, and that's really helpful, especially in the two-run hole, as runners in scoring position is always important, but especially after you're down a couple of runs in the first.
Absolutely. Now Doherty already with a runner is down to first base. 3-2 count. Let it get away from him there. Braden Quinn likely would have
tried to play directly back and couldn't get to it in time. But yeah, as you saw, both middle infielders went to go cut off the ball, and neither were playing second there, as that was a mistake on the second baseman's part, as that is clearly the shortstop's ball to cut off, as it is in left center field from our perspective. So little miscommunication there. Cost some, not necessarily a run, as the run still would have counted, but the inning is still alive.
absolutely what seemed like it could have been a way to get out of an inning. All of a sudden, Cancel gets walked on a 3-2 count, and now the rest is history. It's a 2-2 ball game with a runner in scoring position for YTV member sophomore Chris Danko.
Kristenko, tri-sport athlete, then also plays on the Dukes basketball team.
Basketball, football, and baseball for Chris Danko. Only a sophomore, getting varsity minutes in each of said sports. He is the total package, and now he'll try to rake in another run for the Dukes and get them an early lead here in the first.
Definitely shocking that the Dukes are in a position to get the lead here. After that first inning, as you with bases loaded the majority of it, you were probably expecting the door to be thrown wide open, but good double play ball and then a couple of great hits here from the Dukes.
Absolutely. The Dukes recovering very well, giving Hansman a little bit of a cushion, won't have to pitch in a deficit as Danko swings and misses there. But yes, Dukes helping their pitcher out, had a shaky start to the inning, found his touch there, it seemed late, and now at worst we'll go into the second inning tied, and it'll be almost like a fresh game for Hansman.
That's got to make him feel much better, as it's not always a great start whenever you walk quite a few batters, but
and that's the inning. Chris Danko, 2 big swings, 2 big misses there to close it out. We'll see Hansman come back on the bump. We'll see the Dukes come back into the field. Dukes 2, Hawks 2, end of the first inning. We've still got 6 innings of York Dukes baseball. Don't go anywhere. AJ Swiatek, Joshua Melvin on the call. We'll be right back after this period intermission.
I don't know. I mean, you guys were fine. I was listening to it downstairs a little bit.
second inning for Maine South. The second baseman, number 10, Aaron Barliant.
And out comes the 8 batter. Maine South got through 7 hitters in their order before they hit into that double play. Out comes second baseman Aaron Barliant. From that pitch high from Hansman. Barliant. Hansman had him at 3-0. You know, a lot of coaches tell you don't swing in that situation, but if Hansman's going to give you a lollygag down the middle, why not take advantage?
Hitter, number 6.
Definitely. Especially when you hit it like that, going to need to take advantage of it every time. Maybe both outfields need to move back, as that's the 3rd hit today that went over the heads of all the outfielders.
As up to the plate comes a fun name, the designated hitter, Nikitas Vasilopoulos, up to bat for the Maine South Hawks. Oh, and he's bunting, trying to advance the runner to third, but that one well foul.
Interesting choice to bunt with the DH. Typically a DH is a man who does not field particularly well, but hits quite well.
Absolutely. I thought it was interesting looking at the lineup before the game, seeing Vasilopoulos batting number 9. I mean, it almost reminded me of when Madden was the manager of the Cubs. You'd see him pull out all kinds of stops, all the crazy lineups. I didn't know what to expect from Vasilopoulos, but as you mentioned, interesting to see him coming out and attempting a bunt on the first pitch of the at-bat, and it looks like he'll want to do it again. But first, Hansman has to make sure he's not getting too big of a lead out there in second base.
Unfortunately, no one was covering. Maybe that's why he's DHing in the 9th position. Not necessarily the best option there. Good to keep it in front of him from Rosmuth.
Absolutely, and it looks like he got that bunt up in time as he noticed it was going outside. So a 1-1 count now as Vasilopoulos tries to get a bunt down.
Cancel playing up now, just in case the bunt. Noted strategy from Anthony Rizzo. If you ever watched the Cubs a lot, he would always play extremely high up or extremely close to the plate as a first baseman whenever a batter was threatening to bunt. Looks like he's going with a similar strategy here today.
Right, and you see him stepping back because, of course, with 2 strikes, a foul-tipped bunt would lead to a strikeout. So now Hansman doing a good job forcing Vasilopoulos to swing the twig. Maybe not. Still wanted to lay down a bunt, but couldn't get it up fast enough, and that's just a great textbook at-bat there from Hansman. Didn't even stand a chance with Vasilopoulos. Strikeout goes down for Hansman.
Karam Orasevich.
Back up to the top of the order for today.
Here comes Orasevich. He's the one who started that rally off for Maine South with a quick walk to start the first.
Back up to the top of the order, but only 2 runs on the board. As he
but
hits that one
could
to the
be
gap.
trouble. That hits the grass, and there's still base runners running. That will be a standing run for the Maine South Hawks. Really, really good contact there from the leadoff hitter, and it led to Barliant being able to run into home relatively easily.
Center fielder number 2, Andrew Randazzo.
Here
Definitely.
comes Randazzo now. This Maine South team seeing the baseball extremely well. I mean, if I've had a takeaway from this early lead here in the second, I mean, this batter vision seems unmatched. They've really watched and swung at the correct pitches. They've made good contact when they've swung the bat, and this Maine South team has looked really dangerous at the plate, Josh.
Definitely. Only a few pitches have really gotten them all day, and especially in the second inning, they saw that slurve and curveball and two-seamer, especially with all that movement. They've been reading that extremely well. Here goes the runner, down to 2.
That'll be close.
Got him.
He got him. Really good throw from Rosmus, and arguably an even better cover from Filosa. Yet again, helping their pitcher out. Really, really good baseball there. I mean, that's just textbook.
Definitely. Got to love to see that. And then great adjustment from Filosa at short to reach back and get the runner doing the swim move to try and get around him. But what a wonderful throw from Rosmuth. That beautiful curve back to the left towards the bag.
That one could have been trouble if he had chose to steal later in the at-bat, but regardless, That's a ball now.
A little bit of bouncing. Hopefully, Max Hansman can get back on the control that he had a little bit earlier in this at
There
bat.
it is. That's a great pitch. Really hard to turn around on that one. That one goes foul down the first base line.
Little late on that one.
Stepping back into the box is Randazzo, the senior outfielder. This Maine South team consisted of primarily seniors and juniors. Only one underclassman on the entire roster is a sophomore, and we haven't seen him get much time thus far this season.
Considering we've seen 2 innings of them, unlikely we would see him. But, you know, a elder team here, not necessarily, as maybe that leads to...
3 batter out. Max Hansman picks up another strikeout on the day, K's him up. Dukes will come out to at bat, now trailing 3-2. We've got a high-scoring ball game. Don't go anywhere. York Dukes baseball is right back after this period intermission.
And Aiden Naraki.
And out comes Aiden Naraki, number 10, the senior. We also saw him have a huge season at linebacker for the Dukes earlier this fall. He'll now try to get something going here for the Dukes, as that's just a big swing and a miss on his first pitch of the night.
You always like when a pitch like that cuts away from the barrel. Beautiful pitch there. Gets Naraki swinging.
Now the second one from Quinton Naraki, that was an off-speed pitch. He took a lot off of that, and it clearly worked. Naraki now left guessing with an early 0-2 count.
Got to defend the zone well here. Someone is warming up over there in the Maine South bullpen, if you could call it a bullpen here. Strike 3. Watched it go right down the pipe.
Naraki, tough at bat there. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he's
Dukes,
out.
the shortstop,
And that brings up the
number
number
9,
8 batter,
Brian
number
Filosa.
9 on the jersey, Brian Filosa. He's the one who had that great play at short to catch the runner stealing just last inning.
It looks like that's Elliot Higgins warming up the arm. Out there in the Maine South bullpen, I don't see anyone, despite Max Hansman's struggles.
And
Good
that
pitch
was a
there.
Pitch. He's starting to get it working, is Braden Quinn. That was a beautiful off-speed changeup, just left Filosa looking. Now we'll see if he decides to up the heat here, and he does, but Filosa tries to bunt to get on base. We know he's a speedster. Doesn't work there. Called out at first. He tried to bunt his way on base. A lost art in modern baseball often with the shifts, but that
Up
time
next for the Dukes,
unsuccessful.
the
And
left
it'll bring up the
fielder,
nine batter, number five, Eli Maurer.
Good try there. Got a good jump on it. Just a good high velocity throw from the third baseman. Brings in 2 outs. Possibly 1-2-3 inning here for Braden
Wow.
Quinn.
That one just outside the zone. Looked like he may have got it in there, but Quinn, regardless, really starting to find his groove on the mound. If you're the Dukes, you got to get in the way of that somehow because you don't want to let everything start clicking for Maine South already on top by a run.
Definitely. That one looked outside, but gave it to him, maybe to make up for the last call. But maybe the Elliott Higgins in the bullpen makes me think, I wonder if this Maine South team is an opener team rather than a starter team. Likes to run a lot of arms in one game because looks like Braden Quinn is really catching on. Besides that pitch, he's been wonderful this inning and was not too bad the first inning. Couple of pitches that were turned on, but besides that, nothing too bad. Better inning than Hansman, but makes you wonder if they'll go a bullpen lineup today.
I can't see them taking Quinn out with him pitching this well and still having a relatively low pitch count. I'd expect to see him at least come in again for the third inning, but I mean, I don't see how you pull this kid when he is dealing the way he is, as that's now 2 strikes against Maurer, and that is strike 3, inning over. 1, 2, 3 up, 3 down inning there from Braden Quinn. It's starting to click for the junior pitcher on the bump, doing a great job out there as he now consoles the coach. We'll take a break ourselves. Inning intermission coming from YSN. Don't go anywhere as the third inning is just about to get underway.
Number 8, Brady Marquez.
And out comes the 3-batter, Brady Marquez. Tough way to start the inning for Hansman. Marquez has been a good hitter throughout his career. The junior now getting the shot on varsity, only a junior, and he has looked good so far in this one. Marquez's second at-bat underway. Hansman, really good pitch there, gets the fastball by Marquez, and now an early 0-1 count. He'll have to battle back from the pitcher's count.
0-1 count.
Opens up the stance a little bit. Hansman aims outside. Another strikeout.
Charlie Shaw not happy with it, so I'm shaking his head at the ump. But good frame job, or in other words, lying to the umpire by Rasmus. Useful lying skill. If you want to be good at lying as a baseball player, that's probably your best bet.
Oh, that pitch had some movement, but it will be called just outside the zone. Hansman, when he can locate that pitch.
Movement on these pitches is quite
Collins,
immaculate.
Shallow center coming in and calling for it, but letting it drop. Are the Dukes. And that's a 1-pitch at bat, a 1-pitch hit, and a 1-pitch single there for the Maine South Hawks.
Up next for Maine South, the left
Looks like a
fielder,
big
number
outfield
1,
here for the
Joey
Dukes.
Ward.
I have no real reference for any other high school baseball field, but these outfielders on either side have not really been able to get to any ball.
They've had a lot of ground to cover, as you mentioned. Good point there, Josh. Now with the guy on first base taking a minuscule lead. We'll see what Maine South is able to do. Another one drilled right to center field again, but this time it's a much more routine catch, and that's the end of the third base line, fence, and out of play. Now the 1. Quinn's pitch count as high as they can, as you mentioned. Already the Hawks warming players up in the bullpen. We'll see if that has any effect on this one. Schneider getting a nice long at-bat here against Quinn.
Always love it when your players are really working the pitcher. Pops that one left field. Will it reach?
But it forces Quinn to turn around, maybe do something he doesn't want there, keep it a week ago. We'll see what Elliott Higgins is able to do now on the mound on a much smaller scale here for the Maine South Hawks.
Some would argue, some might argue that Maine South Hawks are more important than the Los Angeles Dodgers professional baseball franchise. I don't know who they would be, but they're out there. Good curve there. Tried a backdoor curve, not happy with the call.
Yet again, this umpire really, really lenient on those curves. We've seen it from Hansman. Now we are seeing it from Higgins. Both of these guys have a curveball that comes left to right, but if it's not in the zone, it's not in the zone. Umpire stands strong, and that's called a ball. 1-1 now will come to Rasmus.
Kept the zone pretty consistent. He does not like to give that inside pitch to these pitchers, but he does like giving them the outside pitch. Here goes Schneider.
Ball, and
Schneider going. No.
Stay at 3.
Hits the brakes.
To go home, but that's one you'd like to have back. If you're Ben Labutka, that's one he'd like to stop. That'll probably be marked as a passed ball, and you can see him frustrated with himself there. Giving up a free base to the speedster, Mark Schneider, not something you want to do, because all of a sudden this entire strategy of this at-bat changes, because now if Rasmus could really make any contact to the outfield, you'd think the Dukes are scoring a run. Stretching the pitch, Rasmus really taking to heart exactly what we just said. You could tell he was swinging for the fences there, because the deeper into the outfield it goes, the more guaranteed you are to get that run from Schneider. But now he's got 2 strikes working against him. We'll see how it affects him here.
Only 1 out here, though. Only 1 out. So a sacrifice fly is in play. The ball was outside, full count here.
Higgins already pitching in a full count. Be interesting to see his strategy here. Working from the stretch. Doesn't have to worry about the base runner as he's on third. The payoff pitch on its way. Rasmus. Great contact through the gap. Jack Rasmus hits himself a standing single. No doubt about that one. And this game is deadlocked at 3 as Schneider finds his way scoring a run yet again.
Brings up Cancel.
Up next for the Dukes, the first baseman, 27, Ethan
Cancel started that late first inning run for the Dukes earlier in this ballgame. We'll see what he's able to do now. The number 4 cleanup hitter here for the Dukes, stepping into the box.
Successful first at bat with the walk. Now Rasmus on base.
Big contact from Rasmus, got it right up the gap. And as you mentioned earlier, these Dukes doing a really good job not only making contact with the ball, but cracking that ball right through the gap. Yet again is Rasmus. They're making deep contact, hard hit balls from the Dukes, and that's why this game is back to a tie ball game.
Not necessarily a long hit, but definitely a hard hit as these, wow,
You wanna
turned
talk
on
about
that
a
one.
hard hit. That one's going to go foul. But Ethan canceled that one, went about 300 feet there, but did end up foul. That was a hard hit baseball.
Turned on it a little too much as you saw him shaking his hand from the stinger. If he's able to hit a stinger roughly 280, that's quite impressive. Now just imagine if he barrels it up.
See if he's able to do so here at the 0-1 count. Higgins looking to his first baseman. These Dukes like to take very big leads, and that one's in the dirt. Late decision, but really no doubt about that one. He'll walk his way into second base. Is
Rosmuth. That does not look like Rosmuth. That is number
12, Greg Lee, actually pinch hit for Rosmus.
Yeah, that's number 12 there on second, Greg Lee.
He's the one with the big contact. The senior, also a hockey player. As you mentioned, so many of these guys, dual and triple sport athletes. Apologies to him for not realizing that he was pinch hitting. We have a kind of bad vantage point here from the box, but Lee with the big contact, he now finds himself on second base, and Cancel trying to knock him in with a runner in scoring position here.
Wonder what that would mean fielding-wise. I don't know what position he plays. Maybe as a backup catcher, and they just decided to bring in a new catcher, even though Rosmus was having a pretty good game.
Oh, and that's a
Call him
strike
outside.
three. Ethan extremely frustrated. He'll walk his way to the dugout. That one was close between the outside corner, but as you mentioned, this ump has set a pretty sturdy strike zone. He values those outside pitches, not so much the inside
20,
ones.
Ryan
Cancel will have
Turner.
to adjust accordingly.
One of the better hits, or I'd say the best hit of the day, coming from this man here, Ryan Turner. Able to turn on one deep left center towards that block York. Isn't the word spelled out in block lettering? Checked swing,
Say he went
calls
around,
him.
but it won't matter. That is a errant stealing attempt there. He was caught well in his tracks there. Greg Lee is out trying to steal third, and now just like that, we will resume play, and it looks like Rosmus will be playing catcher. He's still got the gear on. He's the first Duke out there. So Lee goes to the bench after trying to steal third.
Coach Kalal not happy with him. Letting him hear it. Maybe they just sent him to they sent Rosmus to the bench to speed it up. As noted, there are no lights here at York Dukes Stadium, if you want to call it a stadium, but York Dukes Field. There is no light, so they're probably trying to get this go as fast as possible, so no fielding changes off of that pinch runner, but just strictly to make the game go a little faster, have Rosmus dress before the end of the inning.
And this Dukes team, this Dukes season rather, will play into the summer. So lots of early games. This one starting at 4:30. I mean, this Dukes team without the lights at home has to get these games started early. So YSN on the coverage will be here early. As you see yet again, all 4 innings in between innings. It's that Hawks bench running polls in between innings. Interesting decision. I don't know if it's an intimidation factor, but regardless, head coach Brian Lorenz continuing to opt to have his bench jog to the pole and back in between innings.
Leading off number 18, Ben Labutka.
As out comes Labutka for the Hawks.
Definitely was not expecting Hansman to go roughly halfway through this game after the first inning. After that first inning, you were maybe looking at the bullpen, seeing if they would start to warm up anyone, but no one so far, and continually there's no one up in the Dukes bullpen right now as they're trusting Hansman and his stuff.
Right, and as I mentioned, I think Kalal really values the stamina of Max Hansman. That's what he brings to the table. He's the kind of guy who pitch counts really don't affect. He'll go out there, throw 100 pitches, and swear he could throw 100 more with no ice. Hansman is as tough as nails. He's really good out there on the mound, especially when everything's clicking. So really, it seems like they're going to have trust in him here to go all the way to the closer, which will either be Rock Smith or Jack Gazdak. Hansman, though, that one outside.
3-0 there.
3-1.
3-1. My apologies. Give him the strike he deserves. Your JT Realmuto,
He could do it
member
all,
of the
those
Phillies.
They're going to be scary this year. Got Castellanos, Harper coming off his MVP showing. You know I had to get in a little Bryce Harper love.
Of course.
If we're doing baseball, but I think that Phillies offense is going to be really scary. Just going to come down to what that rotation can do because they might have some of the worst pitching in the league.
Bullpen-wise, starter-wise, I mean, you could also say they'll have some of the worst fielding in the league as they also signed Kyle Schwarber, so all
Absolutely.
three of
They
those
are
guys in the
committing
outfield.
to high-scoring games. The overs in Phillies games are looking real good. That is going to be tight, as it looks like if he made a snappier decision there, base runner Ben LaBuca maybe could have made it to second, but second-guessed himself and ends up staying at first on a pass. And that right down the pipe strike for Hansman.
Definitely not necessarily the location I would say Hansman would have preferred, as if the man was ready to swing the bat, that thing is gone.
Now he's
in
up
most
there
occasions.
swinging. 2 strikes now against him. Hansman working his way back into the count here. And now it'll be interesting to see if that bunt truly was a bluff or if he'll commit to it here with 2 strikes. Truly was a bluff or if he'll commit to it here with 2 strikes. Center fielder there, but instead the Hawks regain the lead, and we have a dang good baseball game on our hands here. Back and forth action, lots of offense, lots of good pitching, and now there you go. Hawks back on top 4-3.
Jack Jerger here coming in
Pinch
as the
hitting
pinch
for Maine
hitter.
South. Number 24, Jack Jerger.
And he will pinch hit actually for the DH, Nikitas Vasilopoulos. They will pinch hit the DH.
But it didn't seem like things were getting away, as there wasn't a lot of hard contact, and he was starting to wrap things up and get a little bit closer, but it wasn't necessarily a smooth sailing here for Max Hansman at any point today. So maybe they want to save his arm, be like, today's not your day. Let's try and save this game, as we are still in contention with our stellar offense so far.
Absolutely, and Coach Carlisle is not put in an enviable position right now because this Dukes rotation that already didn't have too many arms loses its ace just a week before game day. The day he announced Sloan would be the day 1 starter, I mean, there wasn't much question there. You would have seen Hansman at short. He went down, and now all of a sudden, a guy who I expected personally to be starting next game, Chris Danko, already thrown into this one. I mean, it is not an enviable position for Coach Carlisle. He's got to really get creative, use these pitchers in as many ways as possible, because without Sloan, this rotation is not what it was just 1 week ago. The Wake Forest commit, who recently hired an MLB agent, sits on the sideline, and now his sophomore peer, Chris Danko, comes onto the bump. A great stretch at first base. Chris Danko, a really good pitch there to pitch it into a double play. Looked like he thought the inning was over. He was strutting towards the dugout while everyone else was still throwing around the horn. That is only the second out for you, Danko. One more batter, hopefully we'll have to face. But it's tough. We're back to the top of the order. Out comes Orasevich for the Hawks.
Orasevich here today having a pretty decent day at Duke's Field.
Danko immediately finding the zone more than Hansman could earlier. He's not playing around. He's painting the corners.
Kristenko with the flow coming out of the sides of the hat.
Danko. Pitch.
Ooh.
Right to the right field gap. That will, oh my goodness, that will get past the right fielder out there. And that could be trouble. We may see an error leading to an inside the park home run. No, he'll stay at third base. But what could have been runners on the corners turns into runners on the not so good corner for Duke. A run scores and a runner ends up on third base. If you're Danko, got to be a little bit frustrated. I mean, this should.
To left center, not directly to left.
Turner,
Another
this
good
time, hard hit ball to the second. He's coming over to Chicago, and he really looks special. I like what the Cubs did there. They're signing him to a massive deal this offseason, but he really does look good. I mean, he's got a very powerful swing, and I think that that signing absolutely can and will pay off for the Cubs, who are in a bit of a rebuild currently, but Suzuki should be a major piece for this Cubs' future, building around him and Patrick Wisdom.
Definitely like the Japanese player, Seiya Suzuki. Slash line of 305, 433, and 630 or 663. That's batting average, on base percentage, and slugging. If you are unfamiliar, really liked. Really was effective last year in I want to say YPB is the name.
No time to do so, but as I say so, he wants to steal second. There's a miscommunication, though. He'll have to get back to first. That ball is popped up in the outfield. Doherty, yet again, making it a little bit harder than it has to be, making an acrobatic catch out there. Really good play, though, nonetheless, from Doherty to catch the ball out of play.
Yes, he came down to third from left field. That means Mauer's out there in. That means Mauer's out there to left as Doherty came down. Filosa stole at second. Schneider at second. Filosa at short. Cancel at first.
And now with 2 outs, out comes Ben Labutka. He's got a runner on first, trying to go to work. Danko, that's a nice pitch. Fastball there, inside corner, paints it, and that's a 0-1 count early for Labutka. That one, though, low and outside. Count goes to 1-1.
Pretty decent day here for Danko and the Dukes. Nice.
Battle
I like how that
Danko
alliteration. There we go. Danko and the Dukes. Seems like a reality show.
So that one popped up. Will be in between second base and right field. Right field calls off Schneider, makes the play. Dukes get the out they need. 5-3 still the score. And now heading into the bottom of the fifth, the Dukes with one of their final 3 opportunities to put runs on the board, and they need to do so, trailing by 2. York Dukes Baseball, brought to you by the York Sports Network. AJ Swiatek, Joshua Melvin. We'll be back on the call after this inning intermission.
Yeah, he's looked real good today. As coming in for relief for, that was Quinn, who started out the game, has looked real good. Shut down this Duke's offense. I think that says back-to-back 0-run innings. So that's a good thing for a pitcher.
Absolutely, and in this ball game especially, where we've seen so many runs scored, that's seemingly a hard thing to come by. But as you mentioned, Higgins doing a good job keeping the Dukes off the board, and now it will lead to
Up next for
Eli
the Dukes,
Maurer,
the left
the 9
fielder.
hole.
The Dukes be a very successful athletic school this year as they won 2 state championships in the fall, one in boys soccer.
Genders of running, cross country, and of course boys football.
The Dukes notably good at cross country, having a movie made after them, The Long Green Line.
No York administrator will ever let you go your full 4 years here without you watching that movie at least 3 times.
I have not watched it yet, surprisingly. I've yet to watch The Long Green Line, but I've heard plenty about it. I've seen plenty of T-shirts about
I
it.
think you got to watch that tonight, Josh. Get comfort in. It's a nice day outside. Maybe pull out the projector under the stars. Watch The Long Green Line. If you haven't had
Invite all the
opportunity
teachers.
to watch it, then I don't know if you've been attending York, because
Whoa.
the
Whoa.
York faculty loves their Long Green Line. I mean, who wouldn't? It's a movie made after the high school, Your Pride and Joy. Is now Schneider continuing to work this at bat. The count stays 2-2 after the foul ball that nearly was able to find its way in play. The
Leading
intermission
off the 6th
comes
inning
to
from
a
Maine
close,
South,
and the
the
6th
second
inning
baseman,
is
number 10,
underway
Aaron Barliant.
with Aaron Barliant, the 8-hitter now up to bat for the Hawks. Danko has done a good job relieving Max Hansman of his duties for the most part, but now this is where really all the meat and potatoes of the ball game come down to. We're down to 2 innings. Both sides have people warming up in the bullpen. It's really going to come down to it here as Danko looks to have a flawless 6th inning. Hitter
South,
come in
number 23,
for the DH. Now we see another
Romano.
one. The coach is trying out absolutely everybody for this DH spot, seeing who can get the hot hand. This time it's number 23, Matthew Romano, the junior, coming in, and his early bunt attempt there goes out of play. (2-0) now. Danko throwing 6 straight balls to open the inning. Right when it looked like he had it all together, all of a sudden he's struggling on the mound, but that one's a good pitch. He gets the favorable pitch against Romano, and actually that's a strike 3 call. The scoreboard had it incorrect over there. We were
Up next for Maine South,
working on our equipment on our end, so
Shortstop,
we weren't able to watch that
29,
at bat.
Karam
Had it marked as 2
Orasevich.
balls, truly was 2 strikes. Romano, the pinch hitter they tried to bring in as the DH, another failure there for the Hawks. as it's the first out of the inning for said squad. That brings up the leadoff. There, Danko now, another good pitch. Now we go to 0-2.
Runners on first and second, clearly.
Randazzo working from the pitcher's count.
Ooh.
Breaking ball, able to get back into the zone, but unfortunately for him, he hung it just a little bit too long. Play at the plate, no. Pickle misplayed. Maine South absolutely shelling the baseball.
Next for Maine South is second baseman number 3, Charlie Shaw.
Definitely, that ball was turned on and flew off the bat. Quite the velocity.
Danko steps off the mound, takes a breather after having a very, very good start to his outing. It has really fallen apart here in the 6th. Him and Hansman combining for 8 earned runs.
Each having 4 of them. Hopefully he could turn it around, and his
That ball hit
popped
high
way up.
to right field. Looks like we may get a play at the plate if they send the runner home. They do actually signal to hold, and it looks like it may have been the right decision. He started going on his own. Third base coach gets on his heels, telling him stay at third, and he did just that. Listen to the coach. Likely wise decision there. Is now with 2 outs. The Hawks still are just other routine play there. Danko gets out of the inning, strands his runner at third, but not without giving up a bit of damage. Duke's now trailing 8-3 in this one. Will have 2 more chances to get themselves back in it from the plate, but now we'll see if Higgins still trots out for the mound for the Hawks, who has been seemingly unhittable for these Dukes.
Doesn't look like it, unless he's walking to short. He is, but we'll see if Elliot Higgins comes out.
He's not walking to short. That's number 3.
Oh.
Charlie Shaw. We have seen him in this one playing infield, and now they'll switch him to a bit of a reliever here in the 6th. He comes in for Higgins. Higgins pitches the flawless game, comes in, immediately has a good impact for the Hawks, but now we'll see if Shaw is able to do the same.
And that looks like number 23. That was the pinch hitter, Matthew Romano. Who is now playing second. Pretty interesting to have your second baseman.
Using just about everybody across this lineup. Matthew Romano comes in from a DH pinch hitter and comes in and plays second. I mean, this Hawks team, really the Dukes as well, just using players all over the field. Lots of versatility.
New pitcher for Maine South will be number 3.
Definitely.
Charlie
Kind of
Shaw.
interesting to have your second baseman pitch, because typically noted in the history of baseball is that second basemen are put there because they don't have as strong arms as the shortstops, but for whatever reason here now, he does play second, and now he is pitching.
Right now in these warm-up pitches, it looks like Shaw is really struggling to find the zone. That's almost 4 consecutive pitches now that barely make it to the plate. We'll see if he's able to get it under control here, if that's just the facade he's putting on here for these York batters. But yet again, that ball in the dirt here for the warm-ups for Shaw.
Well, I mean, I don't know why he would be putting on a facade, as this is high school baseball and he made the varsity team, so clearly he is skilled at this. But, you know, I feel like warming up properly would be more effective than trying to sandbag the Dukes lineup.
Oh, Lord. Man, maybe too much of a
Leading
little
off
league
the
view
bottom
for
of the
me there,
sixth for
but
the Dukes, the
regardless,
third
we'll
baseman,
see
number
if he is
3,
able to find the
Colin
zone because he was
Doherty.
struggling to do so there in his warm-ups. Here comes the two-hitter quarterback, Colin Doherty. 3 versus 3, Shaw on the mound, Doherty at the plate. 0-0 count to Doherty. Dukes right at the top of their order. Doherty does bat number 2. If there's a time for a run, this would be it. That one called ball looked to be a little low, maybe a little outside.
Possibly an option.
That's Shaw now. 1-0 pitch. Gets Doherty swinging. It goes to 1-1. This extended use of pitchers from the Hawks looks to be a good strategy. As mentioned, they did hold OPRF to 5 runs in their loss. That would be well more than enough to beat the Dukes here, as they already have 8. So we'll see if this rotation strategy is one that works. Right now it's looking like head coach Lorenz is doing a great job for the Hawks, doing a good job getting everyone involved across the diamond. And now a 2-1 pitch is on the way to Doherty. Another pitcher for the Hawks that we see working solely from the stretch. No windup for Charlie Shaw. That one's outside. 3-1 now the count to Doherty.
Looks like another pitcher warming up their arm. I cannot see their number from here. Looks like number 18, I want to say. And that would be the catcher, but he is currently playing behind the plate. So that would not be possible for him to do both.
Oh,
good hit
Doherty.
here.
We'll see
Into
if
the
he gets
gap.
Into the gap. No, great play there. Running to make the catch was Andrew Randazzo. That was really, really good contact from Doherty. He's been spraying it across the outfield today.
Up next for the Dukes,
Just
the
not
catcher,
enough
number
there.
2,
Really good
Jack
catch from Randazzo.
Rosmus.
And that brings Rosmus to the plate.
Rosmus pretty effective here today. I like the Christmas colors, the red gloves and the green sleeves.
Man,
Must love the festive of the holiday season.
You've got to work at some form of equipment store with how much you're judging the Duke's gear out here.
What do you
Give
mean
the man a
judging?
break.
What do you mean judging? It's a compliment.
Celebrating the festivities of the holiday season, Joshua. It is late March.
You never know.
Everyone's hacked at, didn't get himself all the way around. That brings the count to 1-1.
Speaking of uniforms, how about these Maine South uniforms? The front, pretty interesting. Look like the Chicago Cubs.
Gets under it on the fake Duke's warning track. I mean, that ball is about as close as you can get to getting out of the wall there. I mean, that looked like it was hit about 370 from cancel. If he could have pulled that to one of the outer walls, that would have been
number
gone.
20, Ryan
Yeah,
Turner.
good contact there. The Dukes have been having really good contact on Charlie Shaw. Having some good contact despite 2 outs and only a runner on first. Hard hit balls here this afternoon. Could be a possible turn of events unless they decide to go with the man who's in the bullpen currently to change it up. They're going to say that got him. I am surprised by that. That's another base running mistake.
Pinch running errors from the Dukes. Both times they've tried a pinch run, it has gone south. Greg Lee caught stealing third, and now it's Matt Barton.
New pitcher for the Dukes, number 22, Tommy Van Daff.
Yep, possibly worked his way into that position, just like he worked his way in rotation, into rotation minutes.
They got a change.
First guy to start out the year, and then worked his way.
They got 22 for 19.
Sure if this is the kind of sustainability we're used to, or if he's simply the closer to go to because the Dukes are down 8-3.
Yeah, maybe they want to keep those arms as a 5-run deficit after your fourth hitter and fifth hitter just got the final outs. You're going into the lower part of the batting order. Now, they all made the team, so they're all pretty good batters, but they are still...
never say die for the Dukes, but as we mentioned earlier, the rotation and bullpen looking a little thinner than years past, especially after Sloan went out with the tibia injury. So as mentioned, will be interesting to see if this is Van Daff's job this season, if they're going to go with the rotation of closers, or if he's merely in the game on the mound right now due to the potential fact that the Dukes are trailing by 5 and need to save all the arm they can for later in the year.
Definitely, and they already have another game coming up soon. They play Wednesday versus Glenbard East here. We will hopefully be recording that game. I cannot be here due to other commitments, but hopefully other YSN counterparts like AJ Swiatek or Gavin Connolly or others who are in our group chat can step up if any of them are watching. Hopefully you guys can. Announcing opportunities if you're a York Duke student and you like sports and you like talking about it with your friends. Maybe you'll like talking about them into a mic. Come visit us, talk to either AJ or I about it, and we will for sure get you a chance to be a part of our team. So we would love more people.
York Sports Network, one of the greatest things ever invented.
If not the greatest.
That one gassed down the pipe. Now the 0-2 count.
Good start here.
Sixth batter Joey Ward.
Good start here for the quote-unquote shocking closer, as we were expecting others, but pretty decent job so far. 0-2 count, got ahead. See if you could put the batter away with this one.
Absolutely. And it goes without saying it's so good for a pitcher's confidence when you're able to start with an 0-2 count right when you get into the game. Really helps. You see in the zone well, and there you go. Good job there, able to get the out as yet again going around the horn, almost causing problems for the Dukes as that one was zipped to Colin Doherty, who had to catch it off a hop.
Maine South, the catcher, number 18, Ben Levutka.
Gonna say they probably need to practice more fielding rather than around the horns, but that might also be necessary if they're going to continue to do it.
Wow, he is seeing the zone well. Tommy Van Daff gets his 4th consecutive strike thrown, 3rd if you don't count that last one. But regardless, really, really nice job here from Van Daff coming into this game and just seeing the zone and hitting it as that one's outside.
Is that one he misses by quite a few inches, but besides that, he's been real good. But way to jinx him there, AJ. Good job.
The 1-1 pitch now from Van Daff. Another one well outside. We'll go to 2-1.
Looks like that arm side run of that pitch, whatever you want to call it, but that nice sharp arm side run, he's keeping a little high and outside, more than you would like, considering they were both balls.
That's
Foul
contact,
ball here.
But it's foul contact. We'll bring the count to 2-2.
Genuine question. Are the heights of the mounds regulated? It looks like a high mound here for the Dukes. Got him. Beautiful
Strike
curveball.
3 ball there. Great pitch from Van Daff. Curves its way back into the zone, and now he's got 2 outs to his name here.
Up next for Maine South, the second baseman, number 10, Aaron Barliant.
Barliant into the box. See if he's able to keep this inning alive here. That one outside for Van Daff. He'll start 1-0 here.
Not able to locate that two-seamer so far. That's 4 attempts. None of them a strike, or 3.
And Daff, that one will hit. Nice pitch there. Goes to 1-1.
Like I said, continuously throughout today, great movement from the Dukes. Very, very good movement. It's just all about location right now for them.
That one's too high there, and it goes to 2-1 now as Van Daff misses the zone a bit there. Oh, that ball had some spin on it. Van Daff able to get the ball back into the zone. He has looked really sharp here, really just working the way he likes to do so. Obviously, you don't want to throw strikes every time, otherwise it's predictable for the batter, so he's doing a great job from the mound as now he works it to a full count here. We'll have a payoff pitch to potentially end his pitching job for the night for the Dukes.
Definitely best pitcher so far today for the Dukes. If he's able to get out of this inning quite quickly as there's a foul ball. But if you look over into the Maine South bullpen, I mean, you guys watching at home cannot look over, but we can. And that's going to be number 7, Josh Martin, pitcher only. So it looks like they have a nice closer there. A little bit scary going into the Dukes trying to make a rally here. Never say never, as you said. But
that one's outside. Van Daff loses himself there. He's a little ahead in the count. But
Pitch hitting for Maine South, number 21, Dylan Neal.
Come on, Neil. Come on. Go on, Neil. Come on, Neil. Here you go, Neil. Come on, Neil. Yep.
quite a lot, especially nasty.
Hey, you're good. You're good. For you. Hey, come on, Neil. Go, Neil. Oh, send it. Battle up here. Here we go, battle. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh! Yeah, Neil, yeah, you're there, Neil, you're there.
Trailing by 5, we'll get one last chance for a little midnight magic, little miracle here to end out this home season opener. Dukes trailing 8-3, inning intermission underway. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll be right back.
always fix it in post. Quote Joshua Melvin, 2022.
Leading off the bottom of the seventh for the Dukes. The
Josh is
designated
losing it
hitter,
up here.
number 20,
We've got
Turner.
Ryan Turner up to bat again. And just so happens, both of his recent at-bats were cut short by base running. We see the designated hitter after the pick at first, finding himself at home plate in need of a bit of a miracle here. Turner will go to work against the pitcher only, as you mentioned, Josh. Josh Martin, you guys share a first name. Martin on the bump.
That is my first name.
Senior pitcher. First pitch outside, passed ball with the catcher. Turn your rally hats on, folks. All 10 of our current cohesive viewers.
7.
Down to 7 now.
They did not like that ball.
Down. We'll see what the Dukes are able to do here, trailing by 5, looking for a little magic. That one's right down the pipe.
Oh, no.
We'll see if it's able to get over the
him.
center fielder's head, and it is not. Good play out there by Andrew Randazzo. He's had a few of those tracking down fly balls, but for the Dukes, definitely not what the doctor ordered there. Early out in the final inning from Turner.
Definitely not. Apple a day did
Pinch
not
hitting
work.
For the Dukes, number 8, Alex Green.
And here's a pinch hitter, Alex Green, another guy who used to be in the basketball program. Didn't see him this year, but Greeny, the nickname that a lot of people call him. Really good, multiple sport athlete. We'll see how he does here. Pinch hitting is that pitch. Oh, had me jumping. That was real inside. Almost got him on the face there, but able to dodge it was Greeny.
Some would say, take one for the team. Strike there.
Much easier said than done as the count goes to 1-1. See if Green is able to get anything. The 1-1 pitch. Green, big swing and a big miss, puts it to 1-2. Josh Martin currently wheeling and dealing for the Hawks.
Their closer tonight to try and finish off the Dukes of York. As the Maine South Hawks, but...
Oh, Green, that's a rip. No. Looked like it was going to go down the line. That one literally 6 inches between a foul ball and a potential multiple base hit for Green. But now he's got to step back to the plate, get himself back in the mode, and do that same thing again with the 1-2 count. Working from the windup is Martin again. Off-speed pitch. Almost finds its way into the zone, but a good batter's eye there from Green. Gets it to a 2-2 count. That one almost caught Green's bat. That's another one near his head. Another dodge from Green. And now we go to a 3-2 full count here in the bottom of the 7th.
Good job dropping his bat. That's always a demoralizing thing when you leave that bat up there and it becomes a foul ball instead of a ball.
And another one near his head. Now throwing multiple inside pitches, each of which missing the zone. And Alex Greeny doesn't have a problem with that. He'll trot his way to first base and try to get something started here for the Dukes.
Pinch hitting for the Dukes, number 21, Ryan Procalo. Hope I said that right.
Now another pinch hitter for the Dukes. First pitch, oh, big swing and a miss there. That one was right down the middle, but just too much speed on it there.
Not able to catch up to it. Played baseball with him once. Quite good at it. Was a fun time watching him hit bombs.
See if he's able to do so here, because he's now buried himself in an 0-2 count. The 0-2 pitch from the stretch coming on the way from Martin. Looks like he's set up outside. Green wants to steal. That one well fouled there, but good job continuing to fight.
Smart to run there. You don't want to end the game on a double play. Maine South with quite possibly an unoriginal logo. I've been wanting to mention this all game because it's so funny. But Maine South High School and Marist High School share the same logo, except Maine South, their hawk, is facing right, and Marist is facing left. It's a red eagle on the front with a block M behind it. One facing right, one facing left.
The Maine South rather is the Hawks. As that one trying to go up the middle, but unsuccessful. Turning two for the game, they do so. That's your ball game. The Maine South Hawks come into Duketown and walk away with the win. 8-3 is your final score. The Hawks spoil the Dukes season opener. They moved to 2-1 on the season. The Dukes moved to 0-1. They'll have some things to figure out. We have some things to figure out up here in the booth. So, Josh, I think we'll leave it there. I appreciate you coming out. If you're interested in joining York Sports Network, interested in sports, shoot me an email, 63674 at elmhurst205.org. AJ Swiatek, Joshua Melvin on the call. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll bring you more York baseball shortly.